Girl, let's get this party started.
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up?
Let's get it started.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? Welcome, season 2, episode 10, Hits and Heels.
Let's get
What's
it.
up, yo? I've missed being on the show. Look, so if you don't know by now, I need you to check yourself, right? I'm Dani. That's Terri. Over there, right there, Coach Terri. And we are the hosts of Hits and Heels, the sports show for women by women. It's really for everybody, though. It's just by us, for us, by us, right? So we can talk about what we want, when we want, and how we want. And if you don't like it, oh well, someone does. But it feels so good to be back,
Excuse me.
y'all. I've been, like Terri said last week, I have been traveling like crazy for work, and so I try to hop on here while I'm working, but um, I it doesn't always work out that way, because sometimes I get caught up and I'm like still on a plane and can't. It doesn't allow me to join from the plane, even though I have Wi-Fi when I fly. Um, I think the last show I tried to join and it was like, nope. I was like, my feelings were so hurt. I couldn't even watch the show. I was like, what is what is going on? Like, I had Wi-Fi. I was able to stream YouTube TV, but could not stream our show.
That didn't make sense.
Makes no
We're
sense.
on YouTube.
We're literally on YouTube. I could stream YouTube TV, the app. Regular YouTube, nothing. Facebook videos, nothing. The pages would load, but none of the videos would. I was like, this has got to be a joke, right? Like someone is playing tricks on me. Couldn't get on our own show, and my feelings was hurt, and so I'm here now, and then I am gone. But here's the thing for next week. Next week, I'm gonna be at the tournament, and so I think I'm gonna go live from the tournament next week.
Okay.
I think that might be a good look. We have our president's reception next week on Wednesday, and so it'll be broadcast on HBCU League Pass Plus, but you know, I might have to do some behind the scenes stuff with you before I give the reins over to you for the rest of the night. But we have that reception is our welcome reception, and so it's gonna be from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Time though. So it's supposed to end right when we getting started, but we'll talk. We'll figure it out. Maybe we can start early or something, and I can give y'all a behind the scenes peep at what I do.
Okay.
But here we are, girl. It's post Super Bowl. Oh Lord, I left my coffee upstairs, y'all. I have some coffee because after this show, I gotta get back to work. This is my break from work.
Because I'm sitting here thinking I need some coffee. I'm sitting here
Listen.
yawning like a mug because I'm tired.
And what made me think about it and remember that I had coffee is that like it's post. This this is our post Super Bowl show. And I'm upset. I'm heartbroken because my Eagles lost, but then your cousin won. So so man. Yeah. Super Bowl 57. What you think? What you think about Super Bowl 57, sis?
I thought it was a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I thought it was a good game. It reminded me of Ty's game where um the Eagles was did a great job, and then it seemed like the second half they got shut down.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Ty's game, right? So I don't know if um Kansas City's defense just did a great job of just making those adjustments to shut them down, or if the Eagles made adjustments that they shouldn't have made. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't make a decision on what it looked like, but it was definitely hands down way more aggressive for the Kansas City than it was. I thought the game was over when Mahomes hobbled off the
Oh,
field.
you hurt his ankle. But he had even said before the game started there was not going to be anything that would
Thing
keep
that
him
was
off
going to
that
stop
field.
him, that was going to get him off
Like
the field.
he
Yeah,
was going to have to break his ankle or something.
literally, yeah, in order to keep him
Literally
from
break it.
playing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean,
But
when he went down hurt, I hated to see it. And
oh,
here's the thing
absolutely,
about a rivalry or it's your team when it like you never want to see anybody get hurt, right?
not at all.
And I was kind of bothered by the fact that when Dak was up to get his Man of the Year award, like
All the Eagles
Eagles
booed him.
fans were booing him, and I'm like that's not the
That was
time and the place to
classless,
do
but
that. Yeah, it was
okay.
classless. But then I'm looking on Twitter today, and Juju Smith,
Girl, and
AJ Brown.
going at it.
But I'm trying to figure out Juju Smith.
What was Juju Smith's
What was his
point?
angle? What
Yeah,
was the point of doing that?
right. And
So
why did
it
he
was
go
a little.
after him? I missed that part. Like, why did he specifically go after AJ Brown? Did AJ Brown say something? Did he talk some smack, or
I don't
was there some type of a personal background between them two that he wanted to lash out to him like
listen.
that?
Hold on, I'm gonna
If
find
y'all
it.
don't go sit down
I'm
somewhere
about
with
to
that,
find it because what I tell you, first of all, let's talk about your boy Fletcher coming up with the church mother silver.
what he had on, if you don't go take that mess off,
When but
looking
it
like he
had
was
the
getting ready to go like
buckle
this.
on the side like a man, like a
Yeah, it looked
woman's
like a women's, yeah, like,
with the I
yeah.
said and he got on a camisole,
He looked like he had on a camisole.
but he really looked like a full church mother. So now all the memes got him with the church hat on.
Oh, like, dude,
With
what
the
are
church
you
hat on.
doing?
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Sorry, I'm on Twitter looking for stuff too. Um, Sports is always gonna bring it. Not just sports, okay? Entertainment. And for those of y'all that think that sports ain't entertainment,
It's totally entertainment.
gather yourselves,
It's
okay?
totally
Sports is
scripted.
totally entertainment.
It's scripted. I'm totally
and
convinced
so
it's scripted.
and so it brings out people's like sometimes they're true character, right?
Yes.
Like so at awards shows, you gonna see like absolutely ridiculous outfits, right? You gonna that's what you will see. And now you're starting to see it as players are going to and from their games,
The mess
to,
they'd be wearing.
to and from the Super Bowl. Like I saw someone and it looked like he looked like an Irish hip hopper. Like he was dressed like looked like he had on an Irish kilt. He had on like the old combat boots.
was that? He probably
I
did.
can't remember, and I wish I should have. You
Yeah.
know how you scroll sometimes and you be like, oh,
Yes.
this is ridiculous, and you be like, oh wait, this is content for our show.
Yeah.
So
I do it
it was
all the
like
time.
an early morning mindless scroll on Facebook or Twitter or something because I couldn't sleep. And so, but I didn't think about, I couldn't think about, like taking a screenshot and saving it so I can
Right.
go back to it. But I just,
It's kind of
um,
ridiculous. I mean, even like the basketball players, the stuff that Russell Westbrook wears, um, uh, the men with the wearing the capri suits now. Uh,
I'm so
they
sick of
cute.
seeing, I'm so sick of seeing men in high water pants.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what's up with the capris?
I just like, why your ankles out?
Right.
Your ankles are always.
Right.
I can't.
I'll just
I'm
never
just
get
so
used to seeing
sick of
men wearing
it.
some capris. I'm just saying.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I just, and maybe I'm like a really traditional woman. Like I
I
really
am. I'm very
just
traditional.
like I don't. And to be honest, I went through a very weird tomboy phase, right, where I was literally like, I do remember going to school one day and I had on like my dad's jeans. I don't know why. Like I'm 4'9". My dad is like 6'2". Like shouldn't be in his clothes at all. And I remember my mom picking me up from school that day. And she was like,
What the hell you got
what are
on?
you wearing? And I was like, like, are those dad's jeans? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, don't do that again. Don't do that. And this is something else that's really, really strange is that like my memory right now lately has been very random. Like some stuff I don't remember at all. And then other stuff it's like from when I was like 10. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember this. But then I can't remember simple stuff. So it's all coming back. It's coming back. Getting better day by day. But so yeah, I think that I am pretty traditional in what I do and what I wear. Not like brainwashed traditional, but I like my femininity, and I don't feel like I have to jeopardize my femininity to fill a role. Like I can still be a sports buff or sports fan
Oh,
involved in
absolutely.
sports, and I can walk out there looking like the head coach from Texas. I can walk out there looking like Kim Mulkey, or I may walk out there and look like Dawn Staley, right?
Right.
But it's not because I'm trying to fit a role. It's not because I'm trying to fit into a culture war or pander to. Uh oh. So it looks like we lost Terry. Um, her computer might be dying or her phone. But I'm not trying to fit in to anything. Um, I describe like if it were up to me, I would be very Punky Brewsterish. Like that would be. Y'all remember that show? Am I the only one that remembers Punky Brewster? I can't be. I loved me some Punky Brewster. And so I loved her eclectic style and the way she dressed. And so I think that I would probably dress like that, like mixed patterns and all the crazy colors. Well, I shouldn't say crazy colors because um, I kind of enjoy black and red and navy blue. But so I do think that I have a very interesting style, kind of. I find myself right now, due to my job, I I'm I have to dress up a lot more. So I try to, um, even during the day, I work from home, and then I travel for our events and our championships and press conferences and meetings and stuff. But even when I'm working from home now, I try to put on a um, like a suit so that I am still like in business attire, because my parents have always said, like, you dress for the job you want and not the one you have. And so I don't, while I love where I am, I know that I can exceed where I am. And so I want to dress like I'm already where I want to be, or where I can go, like that potential that I have with the position that I'm in, rather than just walking around like, I think it's very easy for women in sports to automatically have this stereotype placed on us that we're lesbian. It's like, I ain't judging nobody's lifestyle, right? I'm not gonna hate you or degrade you because you're a lesbian, but that's not me.
Right.
And so I don't want anyone to look at me and be like, oh, she butch just because I got on khakis and a polo. But
I'm
guess what?
always in a both baseball cap and shorts.
But guess what? That's the ignorant
Yeah.
stereotype that's on women. And so you see a woman on the sideline, and if she is not dressed to the nines, your assumption is she's lesbian.
Yeah. Yeah. That's facts.
It's like, but what if she not? What if she had to chop off all her hair because she got cancer? Or what if she got alopecia, right? Like, you know nothing about this woman's lifestyle. You're making an assumption because history and the media for a very long time have portrayed women in athletics to be a certain way. And when you're not that way, then there's something wrong with you, or you're lying, or you're hiding something, or you're in it to sleep with someone. Like, what? No. I'm doing this because I love what I do, right? I love sports. I would rather sit at home in sweatpants, in a hoodie, under a blanket, with coffee or tea or hot chocolate, something warm to drink, and binge watch every game that comes on TV. Okay? As opposed to going shopping. I don't want to get up and get dressed to go shopping, to have to try something on and take off all my clothes and put my feet on this nasty behind floor where everybody's dead foot skin done fell off while I'm trying on these clothes. I don't want to go through all of that. I don't. So I'd rather stay at home
Sounds like me.
or travel to a game. If I'm gonna go, if I'm gonna be outside, I want to be outside of the game or something related to sports. And that's just me. But you know, I'm not saying that I like getting dressed up. I like putting on a suit. I like wearing dresses. That's me. That's not everybody, right? But if it's not you and you're a woman in athletics, don't let this world fool you into thinking that you have to dress a different way just to prove that you're not something.
Oh yeah.
Dress the way that makes you comfortable, but also understand that being a woman in athletics, unfortunately, still comes with a lot of stereotypes and a lot of ignorance. I literally had someone that I've known for years tell me, what you know about football? Well, bruh, let me run this down for you real quick. So, you know, eh, the assumption that, well, I'm just gonna put it out. Is Facebook gonna shadow ban me if I say something? They probably will. So let me fix how I'm gonna say it. Having female genitalia does not make you ignorant or unknowledgeable about sports. Okay? So I'm gonna leave it at that because I feel myself going down this whole rabbit hole and getting deeper and deeper into sociological perspectives of sport. And that's not what this episode is supposed to be about. So I'm going to pass the mic to Terry and let her give her feedback. And then I'm gonna pick up my phone and start looking for this Juju Smith story on Twitter.
I definitely think is something that probably does need to be addressed. I'm not sure how politically correct we can really be when we discuss that subject matter. You know, like I'm coaching football, and the majority of my football team, they are, with women and married to them and stuff like that. I think there's only maybe three of us that are not on the whole team, and I'm totally comfortable with that, because I'm comfortable with who I am. um and they respect me. And so and I guess that's all you want. You just want everybody else to just respect who they are. If you don't know, ask, but definitely don't assume.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely don't assume, because there are a lot of women that are like us, that are, that do prefer men. And but we love sports, especially football or baseball and basketball, some of the male dominated sports. We probably love them more, just as much as anybody else. And I definitely don't want to be mislabeled or judged accordingly. That's definitely the truth. So anyway, but what I wanted to talk about, girl, was the game before the game was the LSU South Carolina game that came on before the Super Bowl.
Listen to me. I came home from church. I made me a little something to eat. I put on my Eagles gear, and at first of all, I was so tired. I was like, okay, I got 45 minutes. I'm gonna lay down on this couch, and I'm gonna take me a nap before this game come on, because there was no way in the world I was missing that game. So when I got up, I got up right as that horn buzz for them to, do like the
Yeah.
real the pre game stuff, and then I had had my little electric blanket on me. I was set for the rest of the evening. That game was fire.
That game was fire, right? It was fire. It was all that. What I loved about at the end, that was when Kim Mulkey, during her press conference, where she said that it's South Carolina and then it's everybody else. She said they have the total package. That they have the height, they got the speed, they have the athleticism, um, you know, talent at every position, and coming off the bench. They have the full total package. I'm just so excited and proud of Dawn and just how she's built the program, how she's represented us. Um, I love how
Mhm.
she went after her money and the equal pay, um, and she
Yep.
deserved it. And I love that they're getting ready to put a statue out in front, out for her. So yeah, I that's what I loved. I would have been so mad if if that game and the Super Bowl would have overlapped.
Clash.
I'd have
Yeah.
been mad.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm glad that whoever made the decision did put it on in enough time to give people the time to watch that game in full, and
Yeah.
also watch the Super Bowl and all the
Hmm.
pregame activities and stuff in full as well.
Yes.
I think it's really important, um, for me, even being a woman, not just in sports, but also in media, right? It's super duper important to see women's sports getting the airtime, um, getting, eh, it's not about exposure, right? This is not an exposure thing, right? Um, this is about equal opportunity. So if you want women's sports to grow, then one thing I cannot stand to see is men who see a women's game that's on. And their first thing is to put down the women or women's sports. And it's like, if your daughter was good enough to play at one of these schools, or if your daughter wanted to play sports, period, would you be telling her this stuff?
Right.
It's the same people that hate black history, but then say they believe in equality and all this other stuff. You can't, huh?
You can't think both. Both of those can't coexist at the same time. Both of
They
those
can't.
mindsets cannot coexist at the same time.
You're
Right?
either a misogynist or you're not, right? You're
Right.
racist or you're not.
But
There's no, oh, but sometimes, I just, I don't feel, no, no, boo. That's it's not how this works. That's literally not how this works. You cannot be a champion for something while at the same time the people who you need to be championing for are the ones that you're stereotyping and putting down.
yeah,
You need to check the light bulb because something is blown up there
yeah,
because you're not making sense.
at all, at all, at all. Right. So how about I was on? Let me think. I was on. Oh, Coach Locust left. I guess I don't know if she got let go. She got fired from Tampa Bay. So now she's in Nashville with the Titans. So the Titans just got their first female coach on their staff. And I saw the Facebook feed on that. And I don't know why I messed up and went to the I think I was getting ready to make a post or respond on it. And some guy was like, this is just nothing but diversity. I said, and oh my God, I wanted to respond so bad, but I just did not want to go into a tennis match and go back and forth with, because, normally their ignorance is just, and you just end up going back and forth with these people. And what the word says, when there's a fool and you respond to a fool, it's two fools, right? And you can't tell which one is which. So, but it was so hard for me not to respond. And then I think, and then you know what? I did respond because somebody had said something about, I said, well, she has the credentials. And he was like, she doesn't have any credentials. I said, check her freaking resume.
Right.
I
That's
said,
so
because
ridiculous.
I said, check her freaking resume. I said, you mean to tell me she has a Super Bowl ring? I said, most coaches don't have a freaking Super Bowl ring. Most of them don't. I said, and she's got a Super Bowl ring. She was good enough to coach on a Super Bowl team. I said, get out of here. Get out of here with that. Lose me with that. I said, lose me with that. Right. But then there were some other guys that came on, even responded to my post and was like, oh my God, this level of ignorance. I was like, yeah, I'm not getting ready to go back and forth with you about that.
That's
But
crazy.
the level of ignorance with some, but it's also the same way when it comes to minority coaches. I see the
Absolutely.
same type of posts and comments. When I see them talking about black coaches getting hired, or there's a discrepancy with the number of black coaches.
Yep.
This is something that I saw too. I don't know, that I thought was good was, did you know the year that Tony Dungy and Lovie Smith, when Indianapolis Colts and Chicago went to the Super Bowl, which was the first time that we had two black coaches in the
Coaching
Super
against each
Bowl?
other. Mm-hmm.
That was the year we had the most black coaches in the
Yeah.
league. Now we're down to two,
Two.
three. I don't even think we
Two.
got that many.
No, we have two.
We got two.
Hmm.
Only because he just got hired,
Correct. That
right?
is correct.
Mike Tomlin and
Hmm.
and D'Amico,
Yep.
right? With Houston because Lovey got fired after 1 year. Okay. Oh no, we got three because Tampa Bay's coach. Tampa Bay's coach is black.
Why did I think he got fired? I ain't wishing that
After
on.
1 year too? No, I thought
I
they
ain't
brought. I
wishing
thought
that
they
on.
was brought him back.
But they probably brought him back.
I think they
Yeah,
brought him back.
they brought him back.
Okay, right. And
Whoo,
so,
child.
so that's only that's three, right? Three head coaches now.
Three. Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought that was an interesting fact that the after you had two black coaches in the Super Bowl that they shut that stuff down real quick, didn't they?
Really quick. Yep.
They didn't like
And
that at all
I think that,
because it
you
was
know,
getting ready to set a standard.
not just that, but like, let's also not forget what was done to Colin Kaepernick, right? Like, they came out later and admitted he was blackballed, and people are still arguing that he was a low
Just
rate, a
that he
low
was
grade,
disrespecting the flag.
a low grade quarterback.
Yeah,
So it's like, but before that happened, he wasn't no low grade quarterback.
he was in the
You're
Super
just
Bowl.
using that as an excuse for racist behavior. And so that's typically what we see. Misogynists use the excuse that women are unskilled, underdeveloped, unexperienced, lacking credentials. Racists use the same
Same
excuses.
same
He
thing.
ain't got the credentials. She ain't this. This is just about affirmative action. This is just about whatever. They just trying to meet a quota. Well, y'all need to. Y'all ain't got enough diversity.
And then I don't
And
understand.
they have credentials. So what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Another thing I didn't understand is with Eric Bieniemy. You just won another Super Bowl with the Chiefs. So why
Hmm.
are you going to be an offensive coordinator someplace else? Why would you just not stay where the heck you're at
Right.
until
Yeah.
you get a head coaching job? Like the only thing that you should be applying for is a head coaching job.
Right.
So that part I didn't understand. Why go sideline when you could just in the same position if it's not going to be a promotion?
Yep.
I didn't understand what was going on with that. Um, Jim Caldwell just took the assistant to the something or whatever, and people were coming at him asking him to be a coordinator. He was like, "No, I've been a head coach twice. I'm not going less than being a head coach." You give these other jokers a 11 times to be a head coach. Why can't you let him be? And he was successful.
Right.
His record was better than what the last two coaches um at Detroit was doing until this past year. They did better this year, but his record was better than the coach that y'all fired him and hired. His record
But
was better.
again, let's and again, there are always sociological perspectives and psychological perspectives, but mostly socioeconomic perspectives that impact the world of sports. It's no different. Sports is a business. So if you see it in the corporate world where corporate folks are not hiring black people because there is this effervescent idea that black people are lesser than, because that's what this country was developed on. Our Constitution was not developed on all men are created equal. That was added later.
I deal with it at work
Y'all
every
want to
day.
forget that, and but then you want black people and people of color and immigrants to get over it. Well, I can't get over it because y'all still doing the same ish that you did when y'all stole us and brought us
Yeah,
over here.
yeah, facts. I mean, I deal with it at work every freaking day. So I'm work at, at a largest manufacturer of cars. And I've been on my line longer than anybody. I know the line like back of my hand. And then whenever I have a suggestion on something, they question me every time I say something.
Mm-mm.
Like I do not have the intelligence to know what the heck I'm talking about.
Right. Hmm. And I can say right now, there's what I love about being at an HBCU and an HBCU conference is that we are truly one, right? I'm around people that look like me. And it's not to say that I will never work for a predominantly white institution or conference again, but I love where I'm at now, right? Because I get to be part of a movement that is working hard to create a table. See, we didn't have a seat at the table, right? So we had to build our own table. We had to go get our own wood, our own chainsaws and all of that, right? Get our own stuff, build our own table, build our own chairs and put them neatly at the table for all of us to sit around. And there are some who still don't believe. And so, in the words of the prophet Bruno Mars, don't believe me, just watch. Okay? Literally. And sometimes that's all you can do. I know you don't believe me. I know you don't believe in me. I know you have these stereotypes against women, against black people. But guess what? Don't believe me. Just watch. I
Yeah,
can show you better than I can tell you.
sure you, but I can tell you, we had an incident today where we had management come up on my line because I think we were getting some defects on it, and I told her, I said, look, I said we had a pokeyoke that was put in place. I said something stopped working. All they had to do was figure out why it stopped working. So there was a line or something that needed to be fixed. I said instead they start coming up with new pokeyokes. They did this. This didn't make sense. I said they did this. This didn't make sense. They did this. This didn't make sense. When all they had to do was just fix what was already fixed in the first place. I said they don't want to listen to me. She was like, well, we'll take a note of that and make a note of that. But I'm just saying, I said it's frustrating. It's frustrating. It makes me not. I just remember all the times where I've been in a management role when I worked in retail. I mean, even when I was in retail, hey, can I talk to the manager? I am the manager. Who's over you? Nobody is over me, because they couldn't believe that I was a black manager in Target, right? Target. We
Hmm.
know the demographics with Target. Um, and so, it's just something that we're never going to get away from. And I'm just so, I ain't gonna lie, I'm just so jealous of you that you're in a great spot with great leadership where you're able to just not have to worry about just the undermining, the sabotage. um you're always getting labeled um as aggressive, or the angry black woman, or we can never show emotion. It's just
Hmm.
always, just that whole dynamic is just
Yeah.
exhausting.
Yep.
it's
It's
ex-
always
it's
something.
exhausting when you're dealing with a all male dominated situation, or a PWI dominated situation, and it is exhausting as a black woman.
Yep.
you
Yep.
know and I definitely can see it in, even in especially in the sports world, now that I'm a football coach. I could just, like I said, I've seen both sides. I can see the haters. They're crystal clear. Um, questioning me, um, or just hating. And
Yeah.
then, then there's some, there's those few, because it's the fewer than it is on the ones that are haters. Way more haters than it is the ones that are welcoming with open arms.
Right.
And I it just is what it is. So even I had this conversation recently. It was like, well, Terry, you should go to a high school. You should. I said, nah, I'm gonna stay with my all women's team because I feel like that's just the best fit for me as a football coach. I just think that even with girls sports, period, I, I forgot. I think there was a game recently. I can't remember what it was. We might have talked about it last week. Where I just think girls sports need to be coached by women, and
Mhm.
then you need to get all women broadcast, and then you need to get all women officials, officiating teams, and all of that. I mean, I just would like to see that happen. And then
Yeah.
we can you could see us walk away from men's, the stuff like
Right.
that if they want to be there. But the men are right again. Men dominate women's sports as
Yeah.
coaches
Yeah,
and
they do.
officials.
And I don't I think that again there are opportunities for women to coach and to cross gender lines and barriers and coach um boys and men's sports as well. And I don't think that it should be indicative of men no sports, period. And so men should be allowed to do whatever they want in sports, while women, they need to have some sort of extensive resume in
Yeah,
order to even get a shot. And again, we have never once been proponents of women should play men's sports.
I ain't
That's
saying none of
not what
that.
we say. That's not what we're saying. So hear us clearly. We don't agree with that. But what we are saying is that the opportunities made available for coaching and administration should not be based on your gender, right? If you know the sport, whether you've played it, because not every coach has played,
Yeah, I
and not
think
every
somebody did said
player,
that to me too. That how can I coach it if I didn't play it?
the same way you think you know everything about the sport and you ain't played it. How about that?
Yeah.
So I think that there's still so much work to do. But when we look at equality and we look at diversity issues and we look at gender issues, we look at all these issues, right? Sports is mimicking everything that happens, and it's not even mimicking the same thing that we see in our corporate world, in politics, is present in sports as well. And I think that we really have to get into a space where we we seek to understand rather than seeking to go into situations and condemn. Because condemnation ain't for us. Ain't but one person that can condemn,
Facts.
right? And so when we enter situations and conversations with the attitude of condemning and judging and being overly critical about someone that we know nothing of, we're doing more damage.
Mm.
And what we're causing are youth in sports who have ideas, ideologies, and theories and beliefs that are jacked up because they got a jacked up parent or parents that are trying to teach them stuff based off of their own despicable biases and beliefs. And it's some of it is utterly disgusting. And y'all need to get your lives. You need to get your minds, right? because it's not. It's this is not about your jacked up beliefs. Your jacked up beliefs, your stereotypes, your ignorance has no place. But you stay trying to make it, you know, top chef. And
I I
it's
just
like,
think that social media has allowed the level of ignorance to be escalated way more than it is, because you're able to hide behind a fake profile and say whatever you want to say, but you don't have the
right.
freaking guts to say none of that in front of nobody's face. Um,
Yeah, it's crazy.
the level of the liquid courage, or the level of courage that they have, that's probably my only big downfall with social media is the
Hmm.
level of ignorance. If you don't like, like I hate people that bash other teams. You know, I'm not getting ready to bash the Eagles or any other team. Why? All I'm going to do is talk about my team,
Right.
but I'm not getting ready to bash other teams. So why, I don't understand why people can't just like the cow. I'm a Cowboys fan. We ain't been relevant since 1996, but the level of haters have kept us relevant, because that's all people can't wait to talk about is the freaking Cowboys, right?
Right.
I just think it's crazy. It's funny because it's like, okay, thank you for keeping us relevant, but you know what? We wouldn't nobody be talking about the Cowboy if y'all wouldn't talk about the Cowboy. Wouldn't nobody be talking about the freaking Cowboy? But y'all
That's
keep making
pretty
them relevant,
funny.
you know, because you can't wait to talk about them, right? So um, I don't know. Anyway, so I don't know what the trade rumors are. I think even the Eagles have a lot of players for free agency. Kansas City has a lot of teams for free agency. We have a lot of teams, players coming up in free agency. I don't understand why Lamar hasn't gotten his money yet. I think they're getting ready to put a franchise tag on him. Um, I don't know if it's the injury, because they're like, okay, we would have paid him all his money and he didn't miss the half the season, right? So I
Right.
don't know if that was the reason why he didn't get paid. I, I I don't know. Um, I don't know,
I don't know either. It doesn't make sense.
because when is Jalen's rookie contract up?
I don't know. That's a really good question. I'm
Because
gonna
after
look
three
that
years
up
of attendance,
after.
you didn't took your team. First of all, you ended 17-1.
Right.
How many records did you break? Did he break? Many. And you led your team to the Super Bowl in 3 years,
In 3 years.
right? So he should be getting paid. He should be getting whatever the max of the rookie contract is.
Oh, he's set to enter another contract in 2023.
So this year, that's what I'm saying.
That's
Because
this year.
usually the rookie contract is three
It's
years.
3 years. Yeah.
Yes, right.
Yep. So 20
So they should be
2020 he
they should
entered.
be looking. He should be looking to get paid,
Yes. He should. And they
and
should
he
pay him.
should, and they should pay him, and they
They
should
should
pay
pay
him.
him. Absolutely.
They absolutely should pay him.
Yep.
They should pay him. He deserves it. He's earned every little bit, whatever that he's worth.
Listen.
Right, right. So the other thing on that is when these players, when the quarterback get these big rookie contracts, then the rest of the team kind of suffers, because now you can't pay nobody else because you're paying this exorbitant amount of money to the quarterback, and so that's when the whole Tom Brady issue come back. Everybody's like, how did Tom Brady was able to be so relevant? Well, when your wife make more money than you don't
Hmm.
have to take out the max contract. Now you can just spread the wealth and make sure that your O line is paid, and make sure that
Right.
you got receivers and running backs, and
Yep.
that you got all the players around you to
Yep.
be great,
Yep.
right? So now, so now the controversy is, how much freaking money do you need, or do you really want to win? Or is the whole conspiracy theory that the NFL is scripted and you got the script and well, we ain't getting ready to win this year anyway, so I may as well get my money
Right.
because based off the script, such and such name is gonna win. So I may as well just go ahead and get my money, right? So I don't. Again,
It's so layered, and I also feel like, um, and again, this goes deeper into pigeonholing black quarterbacks. Tom Brady ain't had no issues getting his money, and they were terrible. They were horrible. They threw that man all that money, and that man threw away his marriage and everything to be terrible. Ain't nobody judging him. Now, granted, Tom Brady was the GOAT, but my whole thing is how it really baffles me when people cannot see these issues.
yes,
And it makes me wonder how you deal with conflict in your own life, and how are you dealing with people that are nothing like you? Because if you can't see that people that are nothing like you are struggling for access, for equality, for opportunity, for pay, all of these different things that are happening, and you refuse to acknowledge them as truth because they're not happening to you.
yeah,
So you mean to tell me that in order for something to be true, it has to happen to you?
and that's what it seems like because and maybe that's because we grew up seeing it and the scales are off of our eyes and we see it because it's slapped us in the top of our head and the back of our head our whole freaking life. Stevie, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm thinking Stevie Wonder could see it. How do you not
Listen,
see this? Right? And so it ends up being just very frustrating.
it
um
is frustrating, and I
but
think even
then
as
but the
as women and black women in sports, it's like we getting double, triple doses of it, right?
yes,
And for me, I'm short. I I ain't even 5 feet tall. And so the idea that when I walk into a room, you don't acknowledge me or you wonder what I'm doing there because you just think I'm somebody's child, or and then you be like, oh, like some people will look and be like, wait a minute, what is she do? Oh, she what? Oh, snap.
she's the
She
HNIC.
she running something? Oh. And so some people, they get shocked. And I think it speaks more to, I'm not saying that I'm the HNIC or HIC or H anything, BNIC, HBIC, none of that. I ain't saying none of that is true, right? Do I run a department? Yes. Do I run communications? Yes. Do I run broadcasting? Yes. I also learn something new every single day. I also get mentored every single day, and I love it. But it speaks to the necessity for us to be so very careful that we always treat people with respect, because you never know who you're talking to. You think that somebody is dressed a certain way, so that means they're trash. You think that because you see somebody sweeping up the floor, that you could be disrespectful to them because you don't recognize them as a human. You see their job and think that they're less of a person. Well, guess what? If someone ain't sweeping the floor, we all gonna be injured, and there gonna be a whole bunch of lawsuits. So somebody has to do that job. But then you find out that the person that's sweeping and mopping and doing all this other stuff ain't bit more the maintenance man. It's the CEO. It's the
Right.
principal. It's the president.
Yeah.
Why? Because they recognize that if this doesn't get done, this program won't thrive.
Right.
But here you come, Johnny Know It All, with your stereotypes.
Yeah.
So be careful how you treat people.
Be careful how you treat people. Facts.
And I wouldn't even say be careful. I would just do people right.
I mean, the golden rule still applies in 2023.
Listen,
I mean, it really does.
some of y'all get on my nerves. I ain't gonna lie.
Last nerve.
Y'all tap a sister out. Okay? Tap me out. I and for no good reason. Y'all don't have a good reason to be ignorant. Not in 2023. Baby, do better. Be better. What are y'all doing? And these are grown folks. And then
Grown.
you wonder why kids act crazy. Because they don't watch adults act crazy for so long.
I just
Come
know
on
that
now.
common sense is no longer a common practice
Listen, ain't been
anymore.
it ain't been common in a
A
long
long
time.
time. Yeah, in a long time. And I know when I talk to my daughter, she was like, "Girl, these just new millenniums is just on another level."
They crazy.
I
It's
don't know what's
wild. It's wild out here.
I don't know. I don't know. It's hard out here for a pimp. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely it's definitely crazy.
Really wild.
I tell you what. Let's go back to even what we was talking about with the contracts and not paying
Mm-hmm.
um these players. But when you do play the players, and I'm gonna talk about my Cowboy, but when you do play them, they don't step up and earn their daggone money. Then they make it hard for everybody else. Dak and Zeke.
Look.
I'm just saying.
Oh. Yeah, how is it 10 o'clock already?
It's 10 o'clock. Yeah, let's get up off of here. Let's get up off of here.
10 o'clock.
Let's get up
Man,
off
our
of here.
shows go by so fast, but
They always go by fast. It's always
they do.
fun. Um, we always have great hot topics to talk about, and I think that's what it's all about. That's why it's that's why it's our podcast. But we can talk about the stuff that we want to talk about without being interrupted. I'm surprised we didn't get interrupted today. Normally we
I
do.
know, where's Cisco at?
Downstairs. He didn't re-injured his knee.
Oh
So,
Lord.
and he's probably exhausted because baseball season officially started this week.
Oh, so
You
they
know,
started
so,
practice?
so they're practicing. Yes.
Gotcha.
So, um, and he's coaching a 12-year under team.
Listen.
I just don't know how he's getting ready. I just don't know how he's getting ready to do this. So we're supposed to be doing surgery on December, but I think we're going to move the surgery up to get his other knee replaced.
Oh
So
my goodness.
shout out to my babies. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Happy
Happy
Valentine's
Love
Day.
Day. Happy Love Day. Happy Love
Happy
Day.
Love Day.
Bringing up my baby made me think about Valentine's Day.
Uh,
Yep.
yes.
Ooh, girl. Okay, one thing I know I forgot. I gotta say this before we got 2 minutes left. How about Tiger Woods is getting ready
Tiger
to
Woods, y'all.
he's getting ready to play in his first non-major since 2020. Like he hasn't played in a
Yes.
major in like 800 days.
I know it's been a while. I mean, and his comeback, his recovery, and his comeback to, I mean, his recovery to ever play again has been amazing, right? And so now for him to be playing in a major is
Yeah.
like mind blowing. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. I
I
used to
can
hate watching golf, but now I'm
for
all
the
into
last
it.
how long has he been playing? Like 20 something years now. Like how long
Listen,
has he been?
I
It's been 20 years.
at least
Cause he's like, isn't he
he
your
he's
age? Isn't
been
he like
playing.
40 something?
Yeah, He's
Well, he started in his teens,
hold
so
on. Let's ask Siri. How old is Tiger Woods? Tiger Woods is 47.
what? So we've been watching him almost 30 years, like literally, because he was like a teenager. Like,
Yes. And now his son.
yes,
Have you
right.
seen
And
his
so
son?
we've been
It's
watching
so
Tiger.
cool to watch his son
They
because his
are so
son,
he is so much alike. His mannerisms are
oh my
so like
gosh,
his
they have the
daddy.
same movements, the
Yes.
same.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
I
It's
can't wait.
unbelievable.
I
I
can't wait.
I can't wait. Yeah. Like so they don't show his niece enough.
No,
Cheyenne. Um, of course, because she's a girl. I mean, I don't know if she's winning anything or whatever like that, but I'm just saying they should still be hyping her up. Um, but yeah, I'm just glad that he, I miss Serena.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so we're getting ready, we're losing like so, losing our major players, like when Mike um retired, and then when Kobe retired, and I mean, it's
Hmm.
just I'm trying to think who's the next one that needs to retire. Besides LeBron. LeBron, he'll be retiring here pretty soon, but I still think he's gonna wait for his son to play with his son. And if
You
that
think
doesn't
so?
happen, then I think because you know what? I think Bryce is just as good as Bronny, or not better.
Bryce is a
Bryce might
beast.
be better than Bronny.
Bryce just doesn't get the
He
airtime.
just doesn't get yeah. He just
Bryce
doesn't get
is
the props that
big. Bryce
yes.
is huge. He's a
He's
listen.
a he's a monster. And I just don't think he get the props that Bronny gets. They
He
always showing
doesn't.
Bronny, but
He
Bryce,
he. Have you seen some of the clips of Bryce?
Bryce is bad.
Like he's like a grown man out there with them little boys. I'm
Bryce
like,
is
he
bad.
gotta
Do you
play
hear
up.
me?
Like he gotta play up.
Yeah, Bryce is cold. Bryce gonna be the one. He gonna have
Yeah.
to wait for Bryce. I think Bryce will make the league before Bronny will.
You think so?
I don't know. Bryce is bad. Bryce is bad. Bronny's
I don't
good,
know.
but Bryce is bad. Right. But to have two, I wonder if what's the baby's name? What's her name? I don't know her name.
Why?
I hope she becomes a baller.
I can't remember her name.
I
That's
can't
okay.
remember her name. But I hope she's a baller. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm still so heartbroken that Gianni passed away, because I would have loved to
Oh
seen her
no.
come up and continue her daddy's legacy as a baller.
Right.
Um, Shaq has a daughter that's playing. She's a baller. Um, because I don't think any of the boys, I think they were playing, but they're not as, I don't know if they're good. But I think his daughter is a baller, right?
Mm,
Um, and so I love to see the legacy.
yeah.
I love to see the legacy of when players that we love and we grew up on, and then now they have kids, and their kids become ballers
Yes.
and
I
follow
mean,
in
just
their
like
footsteps.
it's like Tiger Woods, right?
Yes.
Loving to see his son out there. Um, and there are other NBA stars who have sons like Amari Stoudemire, right? I think his son and LeBron's son played each
Play
other,
together or
and then
played
their
against each other.
and then
Mhm.
their dads were there at their game, right?
Well, like
And so
even like the Currys, Dale Curry
yeah,
was a beast, So he was a beast, and you got two
yep.
sons in the in the NBA. So there's a couple of them, whatever. But yeah, there's a couple more that's coming up. I can't wait. But all right, girl, I'm done for the day. I'm done. I just wanted to make sure I bring it. I had to throw in my boy Tiger Woods, Tiger
Right.
Woods, y'all.
Well, listen, y'all. Next week is gonna be a little different. I will be on. I may be live on location. um, but either way, we'll make sure that we get the word out in advance so y'all can tune in and catch us in action on Hits and Heels. And I think next week is actually our last episode of the season.
Oh, I thought this was episode 10.
This is
I
episode
think,
10. Are we doing
yeah, I
12?
think
Are
next
we on
week starts
12?
episode 3.
Mm-mm.
I mean
We
season.
always
I mean season 3. I
we should
think.
have a break.
Oh, next
Should be a
week's supposed
break.
to be a break. So do we need to take a break next week?
I mean, we can or we can. It don't matter to me. You know,
Or
I
we can
don't care.
start season 3.
Um, but we just want to thank y'all. Thank y'all for joining us, for tuning in, for watching the
Dog,
replays.
20 episodes. This is our 20th
Isn't
episode.
that crazy?
So thank y'all thank you. If you were watching this on the replay, or if you caught it live, thank you. We're 20 episodes in. So
20
you
episodes
can go
in.
back to either our Facebook page, Hits and Heels, or you can catch it on the YouTube. It's
Yep.
Hits and Heels, right, sis?
Yep. Everything is at Hits and Heels. So even youtube.com @Hits and Heels will take you right to our page. So make sure you subscribe. Go back and watch our episodes. Catch up on season 1. Binge watch us like we all American or something. Okay.
Speaking of All American, we gotta go. I think I left
Jess,
off at
I'm
season 3.
sorry.
I think I
Listen.
left off at season 3, so I gotta go back and get caught up on All American.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm Dani. That's my girl, Terry. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time. Same bad time, same bad channel. Love y'all, and we'll see you next week. Peace.